This yoga sequence will soothe tension and pain from the outer hip area, as well as giving you a deep side body stretch, helping you to breathe easy and feel more free in both sides of the body, all the way down to your hips. This is Sara Yoga. Thank you for joining me and enjoy the class. Begin in a comfortable seated position. Observe how you feel. On your inhalation, shrug your shoulders right up to your ears and exhale them down your back. Continue with your breath, inhaling, shrugging the shoulders up and exhaling them down, beginning to link movement with breath and being aware of your natural pattern of breath. Keeping your shoulders down away from your ears, bring your fingertips down by your sides. Inhale as you reach one arm up and exhale over into a side lean. Inhale, cartwheeling the arms up and exhaling into a side lean on the other side. Continue with the breath. Inhaling, arms float up and exhaling over into a side lean. Keep grounded down firmly through your sit bones into the earth, and that will help you to get that deep side stretch all the way from top fingertips down to your hip. Making this the last round, taking your time, coming to center. And move the flesh of your buttocks out the way so you can really feel your sit bones in contact with the earth. Bring your fingertips in front of you and inhale as you lengthen your spine. Exhaling, tipping forward to the front edges of your sit bones if you can. If not, don't worry, you can continue to think of lifting and lengthening all up through the back of the body. But if you can, see if you can tip the pelvis forward like a bowl of water, spilling out the front. So you'll feel the weight coming towards the front edges of those sit bones, the bony bits that you sit on that stick out the bottom of the pelvis. So over a few rounds of breath, just lengthen yourself back up to sitting and change the cross of your legs. Bring palms to touch in front of your heart. Take a nice deep breath in, feeling strength in the upper back as you press the hands together. On your exhalation, open your hands like a book. Bring the backs of the hands together, pointing the fingers down, and stretch your hands away. Inhale, and then exhaling, hands down, around and up, bringing thumbs to touch, fingers to touch, creating the lotus flower gesture, and then bringing palms to touch. And again, inhaling here, exhale, open the hands like a book, backs of the hands together, fingers down, stretch away, breathe in between the shoulder blades to get a nice stretch there. And as you exhale, fingers down, around and up, little fingers touch, thumbs touch, stretch out through the fingers, bring palms to touch. Inhale, reaching your hands up, and exhale, twisting from the base of the spine, look out over your back shoulder, let your hands float down. Inhale, reach up back to center, and exhale, twist the other way. Hands come down where they naturally settle. Continue with your breath, inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling into the twist. You might be able to bring your front hand to your opposite knee, but don't worry if you don't, it might just fall into your lap. Every time you come back to center, feel very long through your spine. Imagine each vertebra lifting and lengthening away from its neighbour underneath it. And as you twist, look out over your back shoulder with your face, even with your eyes. Inhale to center and exhale, bringing your hands down in front of your heart. Bring them to the floor. Inhale and exhale as you inquire into tipping forward to the front edges of your sit bones. So we want to feel like the back of the pelvis is lifting as the front tips forward, like a bowl of water spilling out the front. Your heart stays lifted, the postural muscles working to keep your spine long. Slowly lengthen yourself back up to sitting, and then come forward to hands and knees. Imagine that you have a light on your chest and you're shining it straight to the floor. Inhale as you shine that light forward in front of you, and exhale as you round your spine, relaxing your neck, letting your head hang down. Continuing with your breath, inhaling, shine the chest through to up cat, And exhale, rounding into down cat. When you shine your chest through to up cat, really draw your shoulders down your back and away from your ears. And when you round into down cat, relax your neck, let your head hang down. Next inhalation, come to a flat back position. And imagine that you have a point on the mat in between your knees. Begin to circle around that point. Shifting your hips side to side, and the further you can shift them to the side, the more you'll get a stretch for the outer hip area. Change directions and circle the other way, but they can be smaller circles if you want, or making them bigger. Stay relaxed through your face and jaw, relaxed through lips, teeth and tongue. So last few circles here, remember, try to push your hips as far as you can to the side to get that stretch for the outer hip. Then we're going to come back to center and combine the up cat, down cat movement with the side to side circles in time with the breath. So inhaling, shining the chest through to up cat, and then exhaling as you shift your hips to the side, round your spine into round cat. Inhale as you shift your hips to the other side and shine your chest through to up cat. Exhaling, shifting your hips to the first side and rounding into round cat. After this round, change directions, flowing through these freestyle movements the other way. Keep going with the breath and don't worry about making these movements too precise. Sometimes yoga teachers call this one disco cat or wild cat, so you can see that it's a nice kind of freestyle movement. Just thinking of shining the chest through, then shifting the hips to the side, rounding and shifting the hips to the other side. Just sort of circling the spine and feeling all those wonderful stretches all around the whole back and shoulder area. Make this the last round and then exhale, rounding your spine to down cat, sinking your bottom down into child pose. Rest here. Relaxing everything, relaxing face and jaw, lips, teeth and tongue, and just taking a moment to breathe. On your next inhalation, come up to hands and knees, and bring your right knee behind the right wrist a little bit out to the right, to the side. Sweep your right foot across the midline of your body into pigeon pose. Flex your right foot as much as you can, so kind of pressing the foot into the mat. Be cautious of the knee here. If you do get any knee pain in your right knee, then leave off this stretch. Sink the hips down, stretching your left leg out behind you, but don't worry if your hips don't go very low. It's important to keep the hips level. Keep the shoulders drawing back and the heart shining forward in the king pigeon. So we're getting a buttock stretch in the right buttock outer hip area and also a hip flexor stretch in the left side. And then on your exhalation, if you wish, you can come forward down to your elbows or maybe even all the way with your forehead to the floor for a moment, just to increase the buttock stretch. Press into your hands to come back upright to king pigeon, then press your hands into the earth and come back to hands and knees. Take a moment to find your flat cat, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale as you shine your chest through to up cat, and exhale, round into down cat. Inhale to flat cat and exhale as you step your left knee behind the left wrist a little bit out to the side. Sweep your foot across the midline of the body just as far as is appropriate for you. The more you bring it across, the more intense your hip stretch will be. So if you need that greater intensity, bring it across further. Sink the hips down low, stretching out through the back toes and flexing the front foot. So really engaging the muscles around the knee as you flex at the ankle, flex at the foot. I know the mat's sort of in the way, but just really press into the mat with the foot. If you want to, you can extend forward, just stretching a little bit more into the buttock. It's a little bit More of a deeper stretch across the lower back here as well. And then slowly pressing back up to hands and knees. And rounding into round cat. Flatten into flat cat. From here, bring your bottom to the floor and stretch your legs out wide. You might want to sit up on a yoga block or bend your knees a little bit so that you're not rounding in your spine. Feel as though you're centered on your sit bones and turn your knees and toes straight up towards the sky. So make sure the legs aren't kind of flopping out. Really activate through your legs. Curl your toes towards you, broaden through the balls of the feet. Gently pressing the balls of the feet away as the toes curl back towards you, so really active through your feet and legs. You might just stay sitting like this. If this is quite hard work for you, just concentrate on lengthening up and being centered on the sit bones, flat in your lower back. If when you sit like this, you feel that you could have more of a stretch, you can inquire into tipping forward to the front edges of the sit bones. Make sure it's the pelvis tipping forward like a bowl of water, not rounding in the spine. Then slowly, over a few rounds of breath, come back upright again. Bend your left knee and bring your left foot in towards you. Bring your hands onto your hips and shift your hips so they're pointing towards the right leg, just a little shift of the hips. You might still have that right knee bent a little bit. So lifting and lengthening all up the back of the body and inquiring into tipping forward to the front edges of the sit bones. Again, if you bend that right knee, it will give you a little bit more movement in the pelvis to tip forwards. Make sure you're not rounding your lower back. It's a sense of tummy towards the thigh rather than shoulders rounding. Try to keep your heart lifted. A sense of drawing the shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Bend your right knee and bring your thigh in towards your belly a little bit more. And notice how that gives you the mobility to tip forward at the hips a little bit more. Repeat this process of bending the knee and inquiring into tipping forward until your belly is resting on your thigh. That's going to support your back as you then let your shoulders round, you let your head go. Your shoulders and head become like a heavy weight, drawing on the muscles of your back to stretch them. But it's really important that belly is on the thigh because that will support your back, support your spine and prevent any injury. Keep rolling your left thigh out, and that external spiral in the left thigh will help to stretch into the outer left hip. Slowly coming back upright, but keep your torso facing towards the right leg. You can straighten the right leg out a little bit if you like again. And reach your left arm up, stretching up towards the sky, opening your heart towards the sky. Bring your top fingertips to your shoulder and stretch your elbow up. Again, opening chest and tummy up towards the sky, feeling that delicious side stretch. Let's do some circles. So exhaling, circling your elbow forward and down. Inhale, circle back and up. Really feeling that nice stretch in the shoulder, stretch in the pectoral muscles of the chest. And going the other way for a few lovely big circles. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more time. And stretching the elbow up, stretch the arm up again. Back to seated gate pose. Reaching up and over, and imagine a straight line coming out the top of your right toes. Reach up for the very top of that line. Come back to center, swap over legs. Bringing the right foot in and shifting your hips just a little bit towards the left leg. Bring your hands either side of the front leg, lift and lengthen up, and inquire into a little tip forward to the front edges of the sit bones. When you're ready, begin to bend your knee a little bit, more and more each time, until your belly can come to your thigh. Rounding over, relaxing your upper body. Let your shoulders, let your head go. Keep rotating your right thigh out and enjoy that stretch all the way down into the right outer hip area. Keep the left leg nice and active, toes, knee pointing up to the sky. Coming back up, keep your torso pointing towards the left leg and reach your right arm up. Reach the elbow up as your fingertips come to the shoulder. Exhaling, circling your elbow forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Lovely deep breaths into the chest as the elbow rises up. Stay grounded through the base of your body as you reach your elbow up, filling your chest with breath at the same time to really stretch the chest and shoulder muscles. Let's change directions with the circles. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Beautiful. Keep rolling the right thigh out to get that stretch all the way down your side body as the elbow rises up. Reach your elbow up again and straighten out your right arm, imagining a straight line coming out the top of your left toes, reaching up for the very top of that line. Reaching your arm back up, coming back to the center, and bringing soles of the feet together into butterfly pose. Take your right calf in your hand and draw it up towards you. If this is too much for you, just stay in butterfly pose. And imagine that you're kind of rocking and cradling it like a baby. Just rock it a few times side to side, really working into that hip. Placing the foot back down again and then taking your left calf in your hand, cradling the knee and just having a little gentle rock side to side, feeling that nice movement into the hip. Stay long through your spine, using a little bit of core engagement to keep you balanced. Tummy drawn in, pelvic floor lifted. And carefully placing your foot back down again, back to butterfly pose. Close your knees together like a book, coming forward to hands and knees. Take a nice breath in and exhale as you push the floor away, sending your bottom up and back into downward facing dog. Aim to be a straight line from hands to tailbone. Then paddling your feet, dropping alternate heels down. Come to stillness when you're ready in downward dog. It's okay to have the heels lifted and the knees bent in downward dog so that you can work your tailbone up towards the sky. Think of being that straight line in your back. Bending the knees helps get it straighter in the back. Relaxing your neck, letting your head hang down. Breathing here. On your next inhalation, with control, lower yourself to hands and knees. Widen your knees, bringing big toes together. Sink your bottom down to your heels and stretch your hands out in front of you in hare pose. Just a slight variation of child pose here with wider knees. Keep breathing as you relax forward. Keep your arms active, creeping the fingertips away from the tailbone. Lower body, belly, relaxed. One more deep, relaxed breath here. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and slowly roll up to sitting. Bring your bottom to the floor and your legs out in front of you. The soles of the feet together a good distance away from your body in seated star pose. Hinge forward at your hips and just take a moment to round over, feeling a nice back stretch. Slowly come back upright and stretch your legs out in front of you. Activate your feet, curling toes towards you, pressing out through the balls of the feet. Knees and toes point straight up to the sky. Move the flesh of the buttocks out the way and really feel yourself centered on your sit bones. If you are rounding in your lower back or you feel any strain, bend your knees more or sit up on a support like a block because it helps you be neutral in your pelvis and flat in your lower back. You might just work on staying in this position, Dandasana staff pose, so straight like a staff through your back. You might be able to inquire into a little tip forward at the hips, so it's the pelvis tipping forward like a bowl, spilling out the front. The heart stays lifted, the postural muscles are supporting the upper body, shoulders drawing back and down. Imagine your sit bones sliding out behind you like they were on a skateboard, hopefully getting a bit of a hamstring stretch. Feel free to stay here longer if you wish, and when you're ready, slowly lengthen up to sitting and come into a cross-legged seat. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. If you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button, consider sharing this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me on Patreon to help keep the channel running. Thank you for sharing your yoga journey with me. I'll see you on the next video.